Nayyera, I want to play for you Susan Rice, who was on This Week with George Stephanopoulos, responding to that very question of whether or not just banning all Muslims from entering the United States would do any good. Take a listen.
There's really no evidence to suggest that by banning Muslims or banning Muslims from a particular set of 6 countries that we would make ourselves here in the United States safer. And that's, I believe, one of the major reasons why the courts thus far have been very skeptical of the travel ban. Moreover, I think there's a very real risk that by stigmatizing and isolating Muslims from particular countries and Muslims in general, that we alienate the very communities here in the United States whose cooperation we most need to detect and prevent these homegrown extremists from being able to carry out attacks.
Nayyera, your thoughts?
Well, it's very interesting that she mentions data and evidence, because that's something that's clearly lacking in this administration and their responses to not just terror, but any other domestic attacks. Because as we know, the data and evidence also shows, according to the Southern Poverty Law Center and multiple other sources, the data shows the uptick in domestic terror is from white supremacists. And this is something Dean has talked about and written about extensively. That is the looming challenge for people living in the United States, is attacks from armed white men. And that is not something that the president has directly chosen to address. Instead, he has harped on the attacks on by ISIS terrorists overseas at the expense of standing with our allies. There was nothing to say that he offered condolences to the victims directly, which is generally the first line of response that you have on day one of a terrorist attack. And you also then offer resources and support to the people in the area. Instead, he chose to attack the mayor of London in one of his tweets, saying that, taking one of his quotes not only out of context, but also calling him essentially an idiot when this guy is reeling along with his city and needs our support. And it's interesting to see he attacked him, but not Theresa May, the prime minister. Attacking Sadiq Khan is the mayor. He is the first Muslim mayor of a major city in the West. And that is very interesting to note that that is the line of direction that President Trump took.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that's completely a coincidence that he only attacked the first Muslim mayor and not Theresa May. Completely a coincidence.